Victor. Ito po. So today, we're going to talk about skills. Ano yung skills necessary in order for leaders to be motivational? These are things that you can develop because skills or abilities can be developed from a mediocre level to really excellent level. So itong mga bagay na ito might be a project that we will be doing for life. These are things that I'm also trying to develop in myself. So hindi sinasabi na since I'm the one lecturing here that I have already mastered these skills. I may have tried to develop this in myself much longer than many of us here, but it doesn't mean that I've reached a level that makes me happy and makes me stop. Meaning, hindi pa po tayo tumitigil. We continue to develop the ability to have these things and apply them in our leadership context. So, let's review first the first 3 days that we have been talking about motivational leadership before we get into the content for today's lecture. The first day we talked about the mindsets necessary for leaders. If you don't have those motivational mindsets, it's very hard for you to go out there and commit to developing others. The second one we talked about, the second day, is the need for the leader to set an environment and to take care of that environment. If we have that environment, we need to sustain that, because it is only within that environment that people could thrive and people could continue to grow. Number 3, what we talked about yesterday are leadership approaches. We talked about some deep stuff yesterday, understanding people's needs, understanding what drives satisfaction and dissatisfaction, and understanding the external drivers of motivation versus the more powerful internal motivators for motivation. And so we need to continue to work on those 4 things, set up our organization in order for it to be to develop an environment, but really maintain the mindset, first day, and thirdly, employ the right approach given your situation. So those are the 3. And the 4th one that I want to share with you today, and this will be the last day, by the way, on motivational leadership, is really the skill areas necessary in order for all of us to be motivational leaders. If you're ready for the content, please type these 2 words, fight COVID. Please type the words fight COVID if you're ready for the lecture today. Let's type fight COVID if you're ready for the lecture. Please type fight COVID. There you go. There you go. Hi, Net. Marjorie is with us. Temaribel is with us. Okay. I hope you would share this with your friends. And if they're interested in the content of the previous lectures, you could catch them in our public page, Mark Castrodes. And I understand Mike would also repost them in the Arete leadership page. You could also catch them there. Okay? So, today I'll share with you 5 skills necessary for all of us to be motivational. These are our tools to motivate others. These are our weapons to fight demotivation. These are our allies in turning our intention to motivate into actual action in motivating others. Kasi posibleng meron tayong intention to motivate. Gusto nating mag-motivate. Kaya lang, hindi natin alam kung paano. Okay? So, ang unang-una, ito po yun. The first step or the first ability, this is a mix of ability and skill. 4 of which are skills, and the first one is really an ability. I wouldn't call it a skill, okay? So the first one, if you want to be skilled at motivating, you need to develop the ability or skill, number one, to understand people and be interested in them. You need to be interested in people around you. You need to be interested in your teammates. You need to be interested in your kids. You need to develop that interest to see what they need in order for them to be motivated. Because it's possible that they're longing to be motivated, but you don't have the ability to see it. It's right in front of you. And that's why if you ask many employees, okay ba yung boss mo? Ang sagot posible ng iba, no, my boss is not motivating. But the boss says, if you ask the boss, how are you, sir? I'm good. I'm motivating my people. They're all motivated. Yun yung problema. Kung akala natin okay tayo, pero iba pala yung perception ng iba or iba yung nararamdaman nila. There are a lot of workshop exercises you can employ to do this. There's the Johari window. It's a very good exercise to allow you to see your blind spots. Yung mga akala mo, ginagawa mo na hindi pala. Akala mo, ito yung nakikita nila, hindi pala. So, pwede mong gawin yung Johari window just to help you. Pero, pwede mo rin kausapin yung mga people you trust in your organization. How am I as a motivator? Because when you begin to ask, you begin to be interested. Yun yung unang-una talaga. Are you interested? Kasi ganito yung power ng interest. Are you interested in their motivation? Are you interested in a motivating environment? It is when you're interested that you'll see. I'll give you an example. Kung kayo po ay mahilig sa fountain pen or ball pen, napapansin nyo po yung aking pen. Kung hindi po kayo talaga mahilig sa pen, wala po kayong pakialam kung ano itong pen na gamit ko. Kung ikaw po ay mahilig sa bag, karamihan ng mga babaeng meron namang extra cash, nahihilig sa bag. So if you're into bags, you most likely will notice the bags of others. So you enter a room and you will see their bags. You will see what brand, you will see how, and you would probably know how expensive, and you would have an idea where they bought the bag. So, ganun yung power ng interest. Ganun ang power ng interest to open your eyes to what are in front of you. Because if you're not interested, you will not see and realize that people actually need motivation. Yes, kung mahilig ka sa relo, makikita mo yung relos ng iba. Kung hindi ka mahilig sa relos, Popoy, engineer ba si Popoy? Attorney. Hindi mo mapapansin yung relos ng iba. Kung wala kang hilig, wala kang planong bumili ng motor, kagaya ni Hec dati, wala kang nakikitang motor. And then suddenly, Kuya Hector decides, I want to buy a motorcycle. Guess what? You will suddenly see all the motorcycles running in the streets. That's the power of your interest to develop the ability to see. So yun yung unang-una. You want to have the ability to the skill to motivate. You first have to see. You have to see. This person needs motivation. This team needs motivation. My people are stressed. My people are down. If you're not interested, you will not see my friends. Okay, here's the challenge. Most of the time, people are really inward looking. You ask yourself, what do I feel? What do I need? What do I want? What will improve myself? What will make me happy? What will make my children happy? Meaning it's mine, me. A motivational leader has the ability to be outward looking, to look at others, to see the needs of others, to identify the needs of others. So yun yung unang-una po. Hindi po pwedeng ang motivational leader ay inward looking. Be interested in others so you will see what they need. Now, what's an exercise that you can practice? What's an exercise you can practice? Okay. Here's a practical tip I want to share with you. You know what I notice in many motivational people or many people who are motivating? They ask a lot of questions to people around them and they will not volunteer their own story unless they're asked. Halimbawa, So, for example, I meet Mr. Ian Barcelona. I will interview Ian Barcelona about his life, about his career. So, ikukwento na niya, Kuya Mark, Attorney Mark, ganito yung ginagawa ko, tapos nagnegosyo ako, tapos naging presidente ako ng MLM, etc., etc., etc. So, I'm interested in him, and I don't volunteer what I know. Meaning, I don't volunteer about myself unless he asks me. Unless he asks me. It's important for us to practice na yung iba ang tanungin natin, yung iba ang ipagkwento natin, yung iba yung maging bida at hindi po tayo. Remember the mindset earlier? I am not the star. So ito is really interest, so you will open your eyes. Open your eyes. So what's the practice? Talk to people around you. Don't volunteer your own story. Hindi yung, for example, kumusta ka? Anong hilig mo? Sasabihin niyang, mahilig ako mag-bike. Ang tendency ng iba, ganito agad. Ako din! Alam mo, ang ganda-ganda ng bike ko. Nagbabike kami sa San Mateo, sa Marikina. Ikaw, saan ka nagbabike? Anong gamit mo? Mountain bike. Ako din! Mountain bike din ang gamit ko, etc. So, ibig sabihin, mas maraming kwento about ako rin kaysa doon sa kwento ng tao. If mas maraming kang kwento about yourself, hindi yun ma-motivate, hindi mo yung makikita yung iba. So, bakit ko kinukwento? Why am I telling you this? So that you will be motivating. So you will be trained to look at others, to see others, to know what they need, to know what they want, whether they need motivation or not. Okay? So yun yung una-una. The ability to be interested in people, because it is when we're interested in people that we will know whether they need motivation or not. We will open our eyes because posible nga, people are already yearning, praying, asking to be motivated, asking to be coached, but you're not seeing because you don't have the ability to see, you don't have the ability to understand, you don't have the skill to analyze what do these people need, what kind of lessons do these people what do they have to go through? What do they have to learn in order for them to become much better persons, much better professionals? That's ability number one, the ability to see, the ability to be interested, the ability to understand where people are. Sa pag-aaral ng EQ, ito yung tinatawag na others awareness. Meron kang self-awareness, and then you are others awareness, and there's situational awareness. So the more you're others aware, the more you become motivational. Okay? Are there questions so far? Before I proceed to number 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because 3, 4, and 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are the skills necessary for you to become a motivational leader. Pero yun yung unang-una. Huwag kang maging bulag sa pangangailangan ng mga tao around you. Don't be manhid. Don't be walang pakialam. And posibleng kailangan nating practicein yung abilidad na yon na makakita at makaintindi. Okay? Now, question so far? None. Okay. By the way, if do you have your wife with you or your husband with you? If they're right beside you, you just tell them, I love you, thank you for supporting my desire to become a better person. Go tell your wife that before we proceed. Just say, I love you, and thank you to your wife or to your children. If you don't have your wife around, just say thank you to the person nearest you right now. Go do it before I proceed to number 2. Done? What was their reply? It's a bit hot. I'll just adjust the air conditioning a bit, okay? I'll just turn the vent towards me. It's in my office. I'm in the far end corner of the office. So let me just turn the aircon a bit. All right. Okay, let's proceed. Number two. Number one, the ability to see where people are, the ability to understand people, the ability to know whether they need motivation or not. Number two, if you want to become a motivational leader, you need to develop the ability to become a motivational speaker. Okay, motivational speaking is a job, and there are so many people who desire to become motivational speakers, but me personally, I am not very comfortable to be called a motivational speaker. I am a professional public speaker, but whether I'm a motivational speaker, maybe sometimes I am, but I believe more than us, the professional public speakers, the real motivational speakers should be those who are leading people day to day. Meaning, if there's a motivational speaker that your teammates need, ikaw yun. Hindi ako yun, hindi si kung sinong kilalang motivational speaker, because we will not be there every day. We will not be there to motivate them when things are tough. Yes, it is a motivating opportunity or a motivational opportunity. If you're all gathered in an anniversary and you invite a motivational speaker, that might work. But the more powerful motivational speaking is something that happens right there in the office when things are tough, when things are happy, when things are just normal. In the day-to-day affairs of life, you're the one motivating them, my friends. According to Mr. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors, businessmen of all time. He's, I think, the third wealthiest man in the world. He said, if you can't communicate and get your message across, you are limiting your potential. Even if you're very smart, even if you're so experienced in the things that you do, if you don't have the ability to express, if you don't have the ability to communicate your thoughts, your feelings, your experience, then you're limiting your ability to inspire, to teach, to develop. So the only way you could really motivate is if you can communicate well. Well, I'm not saying you can't motivate just by living an excellent life. Yes, you will motivate others by becoming a good role model, but being a good role model plus the ability to communicate in a manner that's motivating is going to be even better. I can't give you all the details on how to become a motivational speaker today, but you can read books about it. I wrote a book on public speaking. You can catch that. It's actually here. Or you can go online during this quarantine season. Go online, research on how you can improve your public speaking. Go watch TED Talks. Spend your time watching YouTube videos on how you can improve your communication skills. Becoming a motivational speaker or a great motivational speaker doesn't mean, by the way, that you speak good English. Hindi po ibig sabihin na magaling po kayong mag-English, na magaling na po kayong motivational speaker, or magaling kayong magsalita sa inyong mga tauhan. English is not equal to good public speaking or excellent communication. English is a language. It is just a tool. It is just one part of the entire list of elements of good motivational speaking. So, kahit na nagtatagalog ka, pero napakagaling mong magsalita, you touch the mind, you touch the heart, you use very good metaphor in order to communicate things, you're consistent with your life and your words, then you will be effective. Umayo po kay kamo binisaya, maayog kay kamo storya, kagumkum kay mong binisaya, nagmusturya ka, makahilak sila, makatawa sila, di sila kasabot o kung sa ilang na dunggan o na feel. See, I lost my word there. What's about? O na ilang na sinati. So, use the language that will best connect with your people. Not English if they don't speak English. If they speak Bisaya, but be a motivating Cebuano speaker. If you're motivating Ilocano, Kapampangan, Ilonggo, whatever language you wish to use. So be good, develop your communication skills, because as God continues to fill your mind with experience, as God continues to develop your leadership capabilities, you need to be able to have, you need to be able to share what God is giving you in order for others to learn from you. So motivational speaking is one of them. Okay? So, but do you guys want to practice your language skills? You want me to give you tips on how to improve your English? Okay. Only two, only three. Okay, let me give you 3 tips on how to improve your language skills. Whatever language that is. If you want to, okay, language, when you use language, you're actually putting together a puzzle. English, the parts of the puzzle are English words. Words and punctuations form sentences, and sentences form paragraphs, and paragraphs form a complete narrative. And so, if and you are the okay, if you are if you want to develop English language skills, you need the parts of the puzzle, right? So where will you get the parts of the puzzle? It's like you're forming a puzzle, maganda yung puzzle mo, pero kulang yung pieces mo. Hindi mo siya mabubuo. So the first thing you want to develop is fill your head with all the necessary parts of the puzzle. Sometimes those parts are just there, you just need to pull them out, okay? So the only way, if it's English, the only way for you to develop a lot of, or to build your storage, your storehouse of English pieces of the puzzle, is to really, my friends, there is no shortcut to this, is really to read. Read a lot. Read books, read magazines, read novels, read a lot. The more material, the better. Because if it's entertainment magazine, then you get the entertaining words. If it's a science magazine, then you get the scientific words. If it's, read as much as you can, because that's where you get the words to fill your head. And then your head would put them together. Okay. The next thing is, tama si May. Think in English, because when you think in English, that's when you are able to put together those words easier. Now, the question, Ate May, is, I always go a step further. If you say, okay, think in English, the question is how. I've been thinking that, I heard that when I was in high school, say, in order to become a good communicator, speaker, you need to think in English. The question is how? So I have asked those questions. I have asked that question to myself, and I have developed my own technique on how to think in English. You want to know how I developed the ability to think in English? There are those who were born thinking in English because, meaning if English was your one of your early languages when you were young, it's almost natural for you to switch thinking in English. But if you were raised not thinking in English, how do you do that? It's not easy. Okay? Okay. This is how you do it. Practical. Practical. This is what I do. You talk to yourself. You talk to yourself, even without anyone there. So you just talk to yourself, or you use it as often as you can. You speak to others English as often as you can. But I have developed one other technique that really helped me think in English. Okay, so this is what I do. You want to know the secret to thinking in English? Ito talaga yung secret. May makinig ka. Paano kung wala ka makausap ng English? Pagod ka na makipag-usap sa sarili mo. nasa opisina ka o nasa jeep or nasa bus, people are talking, you know what I do? I translate everything they say in my head. So, ibig sabihin ng isa, kumusta ka na pare? In my head, I said, how are you, buddy? Okay naman. I'm good. And then the other guy would say, pupunta ka sa party mamaya? Are you going to the party later? Ang sagot ng isa, nagdadalawang isip ako. Paano mo kita-translate yun kung wala kang vocabulary? Kukulang yung word sa utak mo. Kaya po, kailangan magbasa. Kailangan magbasa. Okay? Kailangan magbasa. Kailangan mag-exercise ng sariling salita. Okay? So, yun po yun. So, if you're alone, you can expose yourself to a lot of, whether you're watching movies or does watching English Hollywood movies help in enhancing English talk? It makes you, okay, when you're watching movies, you are receiving. Makakatulong din. Ang problema kasi ng movies, Brother Ian, when you're watching movies, marami kang stimulus and not just words. Meron kang sound, meron kang color, meron kang movement. So when you have sound, color, and movement, you're appreciating those things as well, not just the words said. That's why, kumpara mo sa pagbabasa, mas effective yung pagbabasa because what you're getting from the reading are really just words and your mind will process those words. Hindi siya magde-develop ng ability. Okay, merong tanong, how about reading subtitles? Alam ko to. Ito yun sa mga mahilig manood ng K-drama, yung mga na-addict sa Chloe. Well, makakatulong naman yon. Dalawang bagay. Number one, kung hindi mali-mali yung subtitles. Minsan mali-mali yung subtitles. Pangalawa, kung hindi naman umiiyak o nakikilig. Kasi posibleng pagkabasa nun, naiyak na at nakilig, nakalimutan na yung words. So, makakatulong siguro, pero not as effective. Okay? Korean novela, Netflix, hindi siya ganun ka-effective. So, practice your language skills if you're wanting to learn English. When I was learning Filipino, nagbasa po ako ng Bible in Filipino ng maraming linggo para po I could fill my head with vocabulary in Filipino, and then I also practiced reading those words in Filipino para lang masana yung aking bibig sa pagbigkas ng Filipino. So yun po yung ating tip on motivational speaking. But practice, my friends, watch videos, read books, and don't forget the approaches on motivation. If you want to motivate people, remember those 3 things yesterday I shared with you? Ano yung nagmo-motivate sa tao talaga? 3 bagay. Whoever can answer those 3 elements that I shared sa iyo para talagang mamomotivate yung tao internally. Ano yung 3 bagay? Sige nga. Sinong nakaalala nung lecture natin kahapon? Kasi if you want to speak in a motivational manner, the language is just one part of it, but the content of what you're saying is another part. So ano yung laman nun? Ano yung laman nun? Sige nga. Sa mga matatalino dito, sino mga nakakaalala? Sige na lang. Sagutin ko na lang. Okay. Remember, it's all about autonomy. Give them a chance to do things on their own. Kaya mo yan! Diskartehan mo yan! Then you motivate them with your words by allowing them to make that decision, make that judgment call. Pangalawa, remember, it's important for you to develop mastery. Very good! Ayun, mastery, autonomy, purpose. Very good! Sister Trisha gets 10,000 happy points. 10,000 happy points. Reading your post at turn mark is really great help. Yes, pwede rin magbasa ng mga post online kasi mahaba. Lalo na yung mga post ko minsan mahaba. Nagre-reklamo yung iba. Okay? So motivational speaking. If you want to practice some more, enroll in a public speaking class. If you have a Toastmasters club in your area, I would encourage you to join the Toastmasters club. The Toastmasters club is a very good opportunity for you and an avenue for you to develop your public speaking skills. And kung lagyan mo ng motivational content, then you will become a better motivational speaker. Okay? Number 3. Una, the ability to see what people need, to be interested in people, to see and understand whether people need motivation. Number 2, develop your speaking skills, your motivational speaking skills, okay? Number 3, napakahalaga. If you want to become a motivational leader, you need to develop the ability to discipline in a positive manner. I'll say that again. You need to discipline people in a positive manner. Whether they're your subordinates or your children, if you want to motivate them, they need to be disciplined. Because discipline helps a person. Pruning helps a tree. Children needs to be disciplined. Employees need to be disciplined. When they join your organization, they didn't bring their mother, their father, their grandparents with them. So, kailangan disiplinahin sila ng boss. So, paano ka magdidisiplin? Paano mo sila i-discipline? Now, yung disciplining, kailangan, number 1, malinaw yung rules. At malinaw at tanggap nila yung rules. Para, pag binanggit mo yung rules, hindi nila mamasamain because alam naman nila na rules ay rules. Okay? Pangalawa, in order to be positive in your discipline, they need to know that your intention is good. Meaning, you're disciplining them in order to help the organization and to build them up. Okay, ano yung dalawang bagay? Number 1, the rules have to be very clear, reasonable. The rules have to be applied also in an even, objective, and fair manner. Yun yung una, rules. Pangalawa, they need to understand your intention. That's why you want to communicate your intention to them and they need to feel your intention. That your intention is to build them up, to build up the organization. Now, the question of how will they know that your intention is good? The third answer is this. You need to make sure that the manner of your disciplining addresses the mistake and does not destroy the person. Okay? Yung manner mo, kung paano mo siya dinidisiplina, natutugunan mo yung pagkakamali, sinasabihan mo hindi tama ito, pero alam niya na hindi ito personal. Alam niya na hindi mo siya sinisira. Alam mo niya na hindi mo siya iniinsulto. Alam niya na hindi mo siya, you're not trying to crush him. You're not trying to crush him. So discipline with the rules that are clear, consistently implemented, and sufficiently explained. Number 2, be very clear with your intention. You can even say your intention, that your intention is good in wanting to build them up. That's why explain to them. Number 3, your manner, the way you say things, should not result to people getting destroyed and broken. So don't use, okay, here are 3 tips in order to check your manner, okay? 3 tips in order to check your manner. I'm not sure if you're writing them down. Number one is always do it at the right place. Meaning, your manner, kahit ano man yan, kung napapahiya sila because you are castigating them, you're insulting them, you're shouting at them, you're berating them in public, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. You know why? Because when people are castigated in public, natitrigger yung fight or flight. So, nagre-resist yung utak nila or nagka-clam up sila. So, hindi yun makikinig. So, walang epekto yung iyong discipline. Walang epekto yung inyong discipline. Number 2, you better watch your words that you're not labeling them. You address specifically what the mistake was, but don't use big words na labels talaga, na tanga ka talaga, ang hina mo talaga, lagi ka na lang ganito, lagi talaga, forever ka na ganito, forever talaga. Ang hina-hina mo talaga, yung big words, sweeping words, that are not really true. Hindi naman lagi, posibleng frequent, pero you watch those words. Watch those words. Yung big sentences that hang above the heads of people na very hard for them to forget because you've labeled them, you've judged them. Number 3, here's a tip. When you're disciplining a person in a positive manner, talk to the heart, not to the ears. Talk to the heart, not to the ears. When you're talking to the heart and not the ears, you don't have to shout, my friends. Sometimes it's necessary to shout just to wake them up and then tone it down. Talk to the heart. Talk to the heart. Meaning, raise your voice probably to get their attention, pero hindi yung because if it's really just raging, you're no longer you betray your good intention. Kahit na maganda yung intention mo, you will betray your good intention. Okay? So those are tips on positive discipline. Those are tips on positive discipline. Review muna tayo. The ability to see and understand people's need to be motivated. Number 2, motivational speaking skills. Motivational speaking skills. Number 3, positive discipline. Okay. Rohani Mangorsi, can you be specific on situations how to go about that? Okay. Merong mali ang iyong isang subordinate, Rohani. What you do is you don't shout at the person in public. You will invite that person in your office and you will say, you did something wrong, I feel very bad. There's what you call the I feel sentence. I wish I could share all of the details to you. You know, when we do trainings on positive discipline, itong motivation, itong mga sinasabi ko sa inyo, usually takes a day. It usually takes a day. It's one whole day. Itong positive discipline, meron na kami mga outline dito. Kung paano mo siya sasabihin step by step. Unfortunately, pagari na data no oras si Manto para ma-explain ko sa inyo talaga itong mga lahat ng details dito. So, bring them to a quiet place. Use words that will not kill but will build them up. And number 3, explain to them your intention and hope that they will improve. Okay? Okay, if you want, I can make a post about a positive discipline maybe one of these days. But ang dami kasi nitong content na ito. Ang daming content dito sa loob nitong skills na ito. Each one is a separate training in itself. Number 1 is actually EQ. Number 2 is actually motivational speaking, which is a 2-day course in itself. Positive discipline is a 1-day course in itself. So, hindi natin siya pwedeng ma-discuss lahat. Okay? So, Ian Barcelona shares, commend in public, censure in private. I would like to add a little bit. Yes, censure in private, but be careful when you commend in public. I will not recommend that you commend in public. You know why? Okay. I would commend in public if I am commending several people and not just one. Okay. I would rather commend in private, not in public. Alam niyo kung bakit? But if I'm commending 2 or 3 or more, I would commend in public. But if it's just one, I will not commend in public. You know why? Kasi ang Pinoy ganito. Siya palang magaling eh. Di siya na lang. Especially in a meeting. Wow, ganda dong idea na yon. Lahat hindi na yan magsasalita. Mananahimik na yan. Sige, yan na lang sir. Siya magaling eh. Nagbibida-bida. That's why you would avoid commending in public. You would talk to the person after the meeting. Bro, galing ng ginawa mo kanina. Thank you ha. Tuloy-tuloy mo yan next time ha. If it's just one person. Okay? Is positive discipline that similar to the minute manager? Yes, Miss May Ronda L. You can read the 1-minute manager, yung 1 minute na reprimand, 1 minute praise, 1 minute redirect, etc. So, yes, there are 2 books on There are several books. There's an updated version, by the way, of the 1 Minute Manager. Okay. Number four. Number four. Number four. Number one is the ability to see what people need. Number two, the ability to speak in a motivational manner. Number three, the ability or the skill to discipline in a positive manner. The ability to discipline in a positive manner. Number four is the skill to coach people. When you want to motivate certain individuals, sometimes what is really called for is for you to coach people. There are coaching lessons online and there are coaching seminars available, but coaching is really getting a person to learn to help himself, getting a person to realize how he can be better. And there are two key skills when you're doing coaching. I'd like to share with you the two key skills when you're doing coaching: the ability to ask questions and the ability to listen intelligently. Okay? So you go out there and coach. Sit this person, lalo na yung mga key leaders mo, coach them. Ask them ano yung pwedeng mo maitulong sa kanila. And then create a coaching framework, a coaching timeline. And then ask them the right questions. Ask them, trigger them with their own thoughts. Anong pwedeng gawin? Anong tingin mo? Anong saan ka pwedeng mag-improve? Ask a lot of questions and then listen intelligently with great concern and sincerity. Great concern and sincerity. So coaching skills, I know some of the experts on coaching in the Philippines would be Mr. Julius Ordonez. So shout out to Mr. Julius Ordonez and Mr. Noah. They do a wonderful job in teaching coaching. So I know there are also people in the Strengths Finder group who also do coaching. We also do coaching, but it's not just us. There are many groups, but I would encourage you to research on coaching. So far, we've talked about four things. One, the ability to see and understand people, be interested in in people's need for motivation. Number two, the ability to be a motivational speaker. Motivational speakers are not just the professionals. Everyone should become a motivational speaker. Number three, the skill to discipline in a positive manner. Number four, the skill to coach and help a person find his growth path and decide on his learning journey. Number five, and very important, if you want to become a motivational leader, ito hindi masyado ito pinag-iisipan ng marami, pero sa totoo lang, ito yung isang weakness ng mga leader sa Pilipinas. Itong skill na ito, napakahalaga. Importante yung kayo in order for you to become a motivational leader. And this skill is called how to let's see who can read my lips. The last skill is the ability to write that down if you caught it. Write that down if you caught it. The last and very important skill in order for you to become a motivational leader is the ability to write that down. Write that down. Si Annabelle got one word, okay? But I said 3 words. May says, patience ra akong nasabtan. Wrong, Miss Rondael. Okay, let me tell you. The last skill I want us all to develop is the ability to facilitate good meetings. Some of the worst times spent are spent sitting in a meeting that's going nowhere. Some of the worst times are when you're sitting through a meeting that's just rambling on and on and on and on. and you are not actually accomplishing much. And so a good motivational leader would use that meeting in order to, one, set the parameters in order for people to know what they need to do and their parameters so they can be autonomous within those parameters. If those meetings are not effective, are not conducted well, people are not motivated kasi atras abante. They don't feel that there's good progress and they're not developing mastery kasi ano, napag-usapan na natin ito dati. Nasaan na ba yung minutes of meeting? Ang gulo-gulo. I have to admit, this is also one of the things that I'm really developing. But I was taught this when I was the chairman of, first I was a member of the board of an international organization called International Needs. And many of the officers and members of the board of that international organization were Australians, Kiwis, and there was one British guy. And when you come from what you call the Westminster form of government, which is the form of government in UK, they're very strict in how they conduct meetings. They're very strict in sending the notice of meeting, number one, so that the purpose of the meeting is clear from the notice of meeting, so that when the notice of meeting is sent and everyone gets that notice of meeting, everyone can already comment whether that meeting is necessary or not. So that's the first. You send out a notice of meeting early on so people will know what that meeting is all about. The second thing is it should be very clear what the agenda of the meeting is. Ano ang pag-uusapan? Okay? So, notice of meeting. Pangalawa, agenda of the meeting needs to be very clear. And I'd like to insert a tip I got from the Japanese when I studied in Japan 2 years ago. Dun sa agenda ng meeting, meron kang nakalistang topics and meron kang mga nakalistang tao assigned to discuss those topics, right? Now, here's a Japanese rule. In Japan, if it's something significant that requires a crucial decision, if you put something on the table for discussion in the minutes of meeting, and that minutes of meeting will be discussed in that particular meeting set per the notice of meeting, you abide by the principle in Japan called Genshi Genbutsu. What's Genshi Genbutsu? Genshi Genbutsu means you go and see for yourself. Meaning you check yourself. You don't rely on second-hand information. You go to Genba or the source. If there's a particular resource that you need to talk to, if there's a particular person you need to consult, if there's an issue, if there's a site that needs to be visited, in order for that meeting to be effective and can arrive at good decisions, you need to do Genshi Genbutsu so that when you receive that agenda and sit through that meeting, merong mangyayari. Bakit? Ikaw mismo nakakita ng dapat nating pagdesisyonan. And the decision of that group will have good basis because you saw that for yourself. So Genshi Genbutsu as a supplement to the need for good agenda in your meetings is very, very good. So sundin ang agenda now. If you haven't gone through what you call the Robert's Rules of Order training or yung ating parliamentary procedure training, it's important for you to read through that. Study the rules of parliamentary procedure in order for you to know how to accommodate comments and then debate and then certain rules. For example, if that has been arrived at today, na decision na yan today, one of the key rules is wag na yan i-tackle today. If that topic is closed now, that's the decision for this meeting. It doesn't mean we can't discuss that next meeting, but leave that for next meeting. Wag yung natapos na nga, babalikan na naman. So, atras abante, wala tayong mapupuntahan. Especially, for example, you've arrived at something, and then somebody comes to the meeting late, and then he begins to question that resolution, and then it moves, and it just frustrates everyone. Okay? So, notice of meeting should be clear. Agenda of meeting has to be clearly listed down. And then people who are assigned a particular agenda item should abide by the principle of Genchi Genbutsu. Go check for yourself so that you will not be bringing second-hand information during the meeting. You will be bringing first-hand information upon which a decision can be based on. Okay. Number 3, very important, be disciplined in taking down minutes of meeting. Why is it important? Ang Pinoy hindi masyado conscious sa minutes of meeting, but when you go to the Westminster rule of running governments and running organizations again, they scrutinize every single item of the minutes of meeting, lalo na if it has reference to what they said. For example, if what I said is recorded in the minutes, I want to make sure that what was recorded was accurate and as an accurate representation of what I actually said during the meeting. Now, why should you have good minutes of meeting? Para not only are you not atras abante during the meeting, you're not atras abante in your series of meetings. Kasi ganito yan, nag-meeting ngayon. Kung tapos na yan ngayon, next time as you draw up your agenda, hindi na yun itatakal. Tapos na yun. Then you will in your agenda, okay, updates from the previous minutes of meeting. Anong nang nangyari? So, ibig sabihin, yung napag-usapan na, mag-update yon. Pagkatapos, pag-usapan na ito, yung minutes nito, ito naman, para those who don't get to attend the meeting for some reason, whether they were sick or they were busy, if they attend the next meeting, hindi sila maghahalongkat, hindi sila magtatanong ano na pag-usapan. Just go read the minutes of meeting so you bring yourself up to speed. You just go read the minutes of meeting so that you can prepare how you could contribute well during the next meeting. Okay? So notice is clear para alam ko anong pagmimitingan, agenda malinaw, ginenchi, ginbutsu ng lahat ng aaten, at pangatlo, mag-minutes of meeting para yung napag-usapan na malaman natin hindi tayo atras abante. And it could be very beneficial for people who did not get to attend the meeting so they can bring themselves up to speed. Why are good meetings important? Autonomy. When you met well, you release people and give them autonomy. Hindi mo sila kailangan i-micromanage. Why? Because your meetings are effective. Mastery. They will be inspired because during your meeting, you can track how things are improving. As you review your agenda, as you approve the minutes of meeting, you will see we're improving. This organization is really progressing. It gives people joy as your organization develops mastery. And during the meeting, the purpose is clear. That's why the third element of purpose can also motivate people. Good meetings are some of the most motivating experiences, and bad meetings will surely demotivate people, my friends. Will demotivate people, my friends. So, yun po. 5 things. 5 skills. Can someone summarize? What are the 5 skills necessary in order for us to become good motivational leaders? And Trisha, if Trisha's watching, or Lolo Nems, may I ask for the charger of my laptop? Oh, sorry, it's here. I just get the charger. All right, I'm back. What are the 5 things? Oh, sorry. It fell when I moved the laptop. I'm checking the laptop so I can see if I ask you if you have questions, you might ask them now. Okay, 5 things in order to become motivational leaders. 5 skills. Number 1, the ability to see and understand people's need for motivation. Number 2, motivational speaking skills. Research on motivational speaking skills. Number 3, positive discipline. Learn to discipline in a positive manner. Number 4, learn to become a good coach for people who need coaching. Read up on coaching during this quarantine break. And number 5, learn how to facilitate good meetings. Okay? So that's it for today. We go into Q&A. If you have questions, please feel free to ask your questions so I can answer them. Did you learn a lot today, my friends? Thank you very much for summarizing. Okay, do you have questions? Let's open the floor. Let's open the thread to your questions. If you have questions, feel free to type them in the comment section so we could answer some of them. Please feel free to share this lecture to your friends. You can have a watch party. You're welcome, Brother Ian. You know, I wish I could share with you details because these are skills. Kailangan itong i-practice. We teach this in the seminars that we do. So, hindi to mangyayari. I'm also learning this. Yung sensitivity, yung motivational speaking skills. This needs a lot of practice. This needs a lot of practice. Positive discipline skills. This needs a lot of practice kasi hindi tayo assertive eh. Bahala na yan. Magbabago din yan. Magbabago din yan. Number 4, coaching skills. The ability to ask the right questions, to agree on a learning journey, and to encourage a person to be better than what he was from years before and where he is now and where he want to go. And then finally, number 5, I hope, my friends, you learn how to conduct good meetings. Okay. How to deal with tardiness in a positive way. Okay. Yung tardiness, James, you need to ask why they're tardy. You need to first try to understand why they're tardy, because it could be because the rules are not clear. It could be that the deadlines are not clear. It could be a lifestyle that's problematic. It could be a physical infirmity, may sakit. So, first is understand why they're tardy. But ito lang yung malinaw. Yung sa tardiness, it is never a solution to fine them. Alam mo yung pag late ka, bayad ka ng 200. You think that's effective? Not effective. Bakit? Yun bang abala mo sa aming lahat? Hindi tayo makapag-meeting kaagad? This project can proceed. That's only equivalent to 200 pesos. Nag-inuman kayo kagabi, sasabihin mo, pre, uwi na ako kasi bukas may meeting pa kami maaga, baka pa makapagmulta ako ng 200. Your barkada will just give you, here's 200, you just pay your boss tomorrow. So, hindi siya magiging effective. And, again, unfortunately, James, you need to confront. You need to learn to confront. You need to learn to assert. You need to learn to coach. How to coach this person not to be tardy. Because if it's a habit problem, a lifestyle problem, he needs some coaching on how he can develop good habits. Kailangan matulungan kasi posibleng habit na talaga sa bahay nila, late gumising, late matulog. Yung sleeping habits pa lang will affect a person's ability to wake up early and go to work early. So, posibleng ganun. Or bahay nila maingay at night dahil may nagbe-videoke, or it's a combination of many factors. So, understand how you could help people. Hi, Ate Gems. Any other question? Meron pa po bang mga questions? If you don't have any questions, I have a question for you. I have a question for you. For next week, we will talk about for a series again, a series of 4 lectures, Monday to Thursday again. Okay. Tips on how to motivate others if one is not feeling motivated himself. Oh, okay. Is that a good question? Guys, read that question coming from Trisha F. Castrodes. Sino ba to si Trisha F. Castrodes? Makulit ito ah. Trisha F. Castrodes. Is that a good question? Should I answer that question or should I just answer that question later on over lunch? Who among you agree that that's a good question? Sagutin ko muna si Ate Gemma bago ko sagutin si Trisha. Ang kanang slow, Ate Gem, sometimes it can be a personality driven. Some people are really slow, others are fast. Others are noisy, others are quiet. So if it's a personality slow, you need to ask a question, is the personality of this person fit for the role he's playing? Kaya kung ang yung personality does not really fit the role he's playing, he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle. So, there are a lot of personality tests that will allow you to put people in the right role. Okay? Fast is not necessarily better than slow, and slow is not necessarily better than fast. So, finding the right fit is the first question. Okay? So, I would suggest doing a test on, let's say, MBTI. You can do a test on DISC, na kay mga test to understand, then you then reassign them if necessary. If they need to be coached in terms of urgency, ibadi mo sila, ibadi siya sa someone nga paspas. And then as they see that pace, then he will develop the ability to work at that pace. Kaya posibleng that's really how they work at home. So his idea of fast na for her, fast na for him. So he needs to show why it is better. Kanang subordinate nga dili ganahan sultian. Okay, you need to learn how to communicate in a positive way. It's a skill problem again. I'm sorry, Rohani, I cannot give you the how-tos. It will make me go through the outlines. Now give me outline on how to actually say it. In the trainings that we do, we give you an outline, fill in the blanks. So as you fill in the blanks, then you will know how. Okay, naa kay technique. There's a technique on how to explain to people in a manner that makes them listen. There is a way of saying things that will make them listen. Because if you say things nga normal lang, because there's a science to it. There's a science on how to trigger the mind to focus on what you want to say. So read up on it, and if given the chance to attend any of our trainings, if we could go there, hopefully one of these days to where you are, and we could share some of those things to you. Okay, let me answer. Who else? Okay, Lizelle, how would you handle when in a meeting, one would insist on her idea and others don't agree, and yet the group from the very start agreed to resolve an issue unanimously? Okay, there is wisdom in trying to be unanimous, and as much as we can, we should be unanimous. But sometimes we need to also agree that we should disagree. And naamagi times nga di kita magkauyon, and so that's why there's a mechanism called you need to vote for it. But if you really want it to be unanimous, ug nagi mo supak and then break muna, meaning delay the decision on that matter, and assign 1 or 2 persons to talk to that person, to persuade that person. But you can do it outside the meeting. So You table that matter first and then break maybe for a few hours or break for a few days and then discuss that again. Close-minded people. How can you, close-minded people, that's also part of the question of Rohani earlier. Ian Bricks, mag-enroll ka dun sa course ni Mike on persuasive communication because we really give you an outline on how to do that. We give you an approach, a technique on how to do that, because the default of people is when you present something, they will either say, no, I disagree, I agree, or why. So your chance of getting a yes, I agree, is only 1/3. So how do you overcome the fact that when people listen to any idea, they will either say, no, no, no. Or they could say, yes, yes. Or they could say, why? So yung chance of yes, 1/3 lang. There's a way to overcome that 1/3 or that the 2/3 no or the 2/3 why in order to get a yes. Okay. So to answer the last question of Trisha, how do you motivate others when you're really not motivated yourself? Okay. Good question. Good question. Number one, you draw strength from other aspects of life. So for example, I am supposed to motivate in the office. Ang daming problema sa opisina. It's possible that you will not find reasons to be motivated there. It's possible that your reason to be motivated you can find at home or you can find from your friends. So allow your home to motivate you to do that for your work. Or allow your friends to motivate you so you could do that for your work. Or if your issue is motivating your family, you're doing well at work, allow your work to motivate you when you go to your family. So each of those aspects of life should help one another in order for a person to move into those various aspects of life and draw strength from where he can draw strength from. Okay? Another thing that's necessary for motivation is this. You need to develop good habits para pagpapasok ka na, alam mo, it is my habit, it is now marked as a speaker and trainer. Kahit na malungkot ako sa ibang aspeto ng buhay ko, pagdating ko dito, I can focus on this because I have good habits so that I could be motivating here, even if the other aspects of my life are not motivating. So what can allow you to motivate are your habits. What can allow you to motivate even if you're not motivated yourself are the other aspects of your life or the other people in your life. Number 3, last answer. When you're not feeling so motivated, according to the book, The Power of Habits, pretend that you're motivated. Meaning if internal, you're not so motivated, external should help internal. It's easy when you're motivated internally. The external will follow. If you're not motivated internally, according to studies, allow external to motivate you. So what do I mean? You can buy a nice jacket, you can wear your favorite makeup, you can posture, you can work out, you can face yourself in the mirror and say, you can do this, Mark, this is not easy, but you can do this. Times are tough, but you can do this. So meaning allow the external to influence the internal. That will also work. Give yourself time so it can seep right in. Because most of the time, we don't have a choice. We need to go out there to motivate others. Ibig sabihin, the warrior may be a child. The warrior is a child, but he's a warrior still. And he still needs to go out there and be a warrior. He still needs to go out there and be a motivator. He's wounded himself. He's not perfect himself, but he needs to help others heal their wounds as well, fight their own battles as well. And you know what? As you go out there to help motivate others, you will be motivated yourself. As you go out there to help others heal their own inadequacies and insecurities and lack of motivation, you will be healed yourself. Ang maganda yon, and my final message is this: our motivation is really from God, because God is our source of motivation that will never run dry, or will never run dry. Sabi nga niya, di ba? Come to me and drink, because the water I give is a water that will spring forth towards eternity. It will not run dry. It will be an eternal source for inspiration. Again, you tap into the higher power, the love and grace of the Lord, that no matter how difficult life is, this is not the end of it. This is not the end of it. No matter what issues you're facing, you can spend time in prayer, spend time in meditation, and just tap into that source of real motivation. Because at the end of the day, sorry for the cliche, motivation is really anchored on hope. Motivation is really anchored on hope. And hope comes from the faith that this earth is not the end, that there's a life that awaits us, that even if we go through difficult times now, life will still find its way towards better days. Okay? So, allow the other aspects of your life to motivate the other aspects. Number 2, develop good habits so that you will know to trigger when you need to be motivating. Number 3, allow the external to influence the external. Dress up well, be healthy, be strong, eat well. Number 4, and most important, tap into your real source of motivation. The real source of motivation that will never run out. Others may fail us, circumstances may fail us, but God will never fail us, because He is the source of all hope and the source of all joy. So I hope, my friends, you develop great skill to be motivating towards other people around you, the people in your home, the people in your community, the people in your workplaces. And the promise is, as you go out there to motivate others, you will be motivated as well. God bless you.